Hello and welcome to another episode of Rebuild Your Body presented by BluePhoenix Fitness, where it is our job to help you reclaim your health, lose weight, and become the strongest version of you. Find out more at BluePhoenixFitness.com. I am your host, Cameron Makarchuk, and today we're going to answer the question of, are you too old to start lifting weights? And then I'm going to give you a 3-step plan to start lifting weights if you are just starting off, regardless of your age, whether you are 18, 38, or 88. As always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or you just want to stop by and say hi, drop a message in the comments below this video, or you can send us a message at BluePhoenix Fitness on Instagram. And finally, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get the alerts so that you never miss another episode. So look, the really simple answer to that question is no. You are obviously not too old to start lifting weights. Doesn't matter if you are 50 years old, if you are 60 years old, if you're 100 years old. You are not too old to start lifting weights. In fact, I would say that lifting weights and starting to strength train properly and safely is probably one of the best things that you can do for yourself and for your health as you get older and as you get into those later years if you haven't already started. Now, as with a lot of things, the earlier you can start strength training, the better and more enhanced benefits you're going to have from doing that in the future as you do get older, but there is never a bad time to start. Like I always say, if you wanted to plant an oak tree, the best time would have been 20 years ago, but the second best time to plant that oak tree is right now today. So do something today. If you haven't started strength training, make that a priority, especially if you are getting into that 50, 60, 70-year-old, even if you're 80 years old. Start doing something today to start strength training. I worked with a guy named Bill a couple of years back, and I worked with him for probably 2 or 3 years, and he was 83 years old. 83 years old. He just started strength training when he was, I think, 80. He started coming to see me when he was 80 or 81 years old, and I worked with him right up until he was about 83 years old, and the only reason we stopped was because I actually moved to a totally different city. So Bill and I worked together, 83 years old. We weren't doing big, crazy barbell lifts. I was starting stuff with him like doing some simple squats onto a bench, sitting down onto a bench, standing back up again. Things like that. I had him on his back doing some hip bridges, pushing your hips up, squeezing your glutes, doing some resistance band exercises to start to build some strength in his upper body and his back. I had him doing some TRX exercises, some TRX rows, pulling himself up on a TRX to mimic pulling himself up out of bed, pulling himself up out of a chair. And he was making phenomenal progress. And that's just one example. I had another woman named Deb. She was 63 years old when she started coming to see me, and her thing was she wanted to redefine what aging looked like. But I met her when she was at 63, and she was very strong, very fit, and was making strength training a priority, regardless of what her age was. So like I said at the beginning of this, starting to lift weights is by far one of the best things that we all can do for our health as we start to get older, and starting to prepare for as we get older so that we can keep some of the independence that we have when we're younger. And if you're watching this and you're thinking, man, I don't know, I don't really have time for it, I don't know if I should, I don't know if it's safe, is it really worth it? There are a ton of benefits to building muscle and getting stronger as we get older. One of them being reduced risk of falls and hip fractures. So as we get older, there's a higher chance that we're going to fall and a much higher chance that we're going to fracture a hip or fracture a bone in some other capacity. Having a strong body and building a strong body through strength training is one way to mitigate and reduce that chance of falling and that chance of hip fracture from happening. Building stronger bones and reducing the risk of osteoporosis. That's a big thing when we get older as well, a big problem people have. And just with some consistent strength training, we can, again, reduce the risk of that happening and build stronger bones so that if something does happen, say we do slip and fall, our bones are going to be stronger and there's going to be less chance of something bad happening, less chance of a fracture. Or maybe you want to be able to think clearly. Maybe you want to keep your cognitive capacity. That's also something that gets improved with strength training. Better cognitive performance, better brain performance, better thinking, better memory. That all starts to decline as we get older. So with some consistent strength training, we can actually slow that process from happening until much, much later. And I mean, one of the biggest ones is just keeping our independence. So being able to pull ourselves out of bed, being able to stand up out of a chair, being able to get up off of the toilet is something that is going to be very important for all of us as we get older. So being able to keep that type of independence and not have to rely on other people to help us is a huge benefit of building a strong, healthy body, and strength training is a massive part of that. But if you are just starting, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you are just starting to strength train, then you need to do it safely. It's no matter if you are 14 years old or if you're 84 years old, you still need to start safely and do it safely. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to jump over to the whiteboard and I'm going to give you 3 tips on exactly how to do that. Okay, so now what I have here is a 3-step plan, very simple, for you to start strength training if you haven't started yet. So this again goes for you whether you are watching this and you are 85 years old or whether you are 15 years old. This is still the process that you should probably follow if you are starting off. Okay, so step number 1, you want to start now. The best time, like I said just a few seconds ago, to plant that big oak tree would have been 20 years ago, but the second best time is actually right now today. So don't waste any more time, don't keep putting it off, don't keep thinking about it, just do it today. Do something today. Step number 2, start slow. You don't have to change everything all at once. You don't have to go from 0 today to doing these super complex Olympic lifts and hang cleans and CrossFit workouts and any of that type of stuff. Just start slow. Start with some very simple body weight exercises. Start with some, box squats. Just simply sitting down into a chair and standing back up again. Do that a few times. Get into doing some wall push-ups, pushing yourself up on a wall. Very simple things like that. Get some resistance bands. You can do that at home. They're very inexpensive. Think simple. Start slow and simple. And step number 3 is get help. So you want to get some professional help from someone who knows what they're doing, someone who can teach you the exercises, someone who can show you proper form and movement and when you should be increasing your weight, when you should be doing a different exercise, and developing a training program that is tailored for you and your body, your goals, your fitness level, all of that type of stuff. So get some professional help, especially in the beginning when you are just starting off. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching this far. If you enjoyed that, please hit that thumbs up button below the video. And if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get the alerts of all the next episodes. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like some of the other videos that I have filmed and posted. So I'm going to put one of those right here above my head. And so go ahead and click on that, and I'll see you over there.